Hey guys, I know I look absolutely crazy. I do apologize. I was getting ready and set up to film a new look for me. It is called 9-to-Eye makeup. It is a new trending version of the baddie makeup look. Apparently it is all the rage with the French girlies. I saw a very quick tutorial by Monica, one of the influencers that I follow. And we all know by now that I do not do 90-second quick reels, TikToks, whatever you want to call them. So I was going to do my version for the pale over 40 disabled niche communities, whichever one you fall into, or however many you fall into, or if you just happen to like my style of videos, whatever. And one of the things that Monica does in her video is a lash. And I have never done lashes on myself. I've only ever worn false lashes once for a couple of hours for a friend's wedding. I had them done professionally by a makeup artist, and they lasted about 20 minutes once I got to the wedding reception, and they immediately fell off. I was going to practice with a new kit that I had bought off Amazon before I started filming, and realized as soon as I got this one on that I was not going to do any better than this. So I thought, okay, well, let's go ahead and we'll just start with these because it's not going to get any better. And if I were to go ahead and do the filming and get the look on and I completely screwed up the second lash, I was going to ruin the entire look. So let's go ahead and start with the lashes. And then if I screw up, I haven't messed anything up. So kind of an interesting story with these. I was looking around on Amazon and thought, well, let me get something kind of simple, something inexpensive, because this might be the only video that I use them in, and I'm not going to break the bank on these. Not that I have a huge budget for these videos to start with, because as we know, I like to stick with drugstore brands or cheaper if possible, because, you know, I am on SSDI, I am fully disabled, and it is my only source of income currently, besides maybe the random photo shoots with my modeling, or maybe a gift off of one of my Amazon wish lists from a friend or follower. So there's really not a lot of income for these videos. So I was looking around and I realized that I recognized a name brand that came up. So if you have seen one of my earlier videos, you might recognize this. It is a black eyeliner that is sort of geared to go in the waterline when we're tightlining. And it's just, you know, a very creamy pencil. And I've used it before, and it's from a brand, and I hope I'm saying it right. I've been calling it Bethalon. And so when I'm looking around, I found these, and it's from Bethalon. And I thought, okay, well, let's try them. And so I found these self-adhesive eyelashes. And I thought, well, can't get easier than that. I don't need to buy eyelash glue. I'm not fussing around with a couple products at once, right? And so these came in a cute little kit, and there is a mirror in them, and I love things that come with a mirror because I don't want to be fussing with a couple things. And then they also came with this cute little, you know, clippy thing to kind of press things together, although didn't really use it so much. But all right, let's go in. So you're supposed to take a little pair of tweezers, and you kind of take from a side, and I did it wrong the first time. Let's see if I can get it right this time. So I'm going from this side, I'm going to do kind of like that. And the band is very sticky and thick. Okay, I think I did it right. All right, so, and then you take the tray like this, so then you just have the compact. And you're supposed to, don't take my instructions, I'm just following what they said, I just memorized them. So you're gonna try and align them to the center of your lash, just above your natural lashes, something like that. I'm doing better this time. And then what I did was I kind of just like forced them to stick, left them there, and then I just kind of pressed the two sides down like that, and then I just kind of opened my eye a little bit and used the clippy, and then I just like kind of pushed the adhesive strip down into place, and if it wasn't quite where I wanted it, I just kind of lifted the edges a little bit until I got them where I wanted them, kind of like that. This one's a little high, so I kind of just gonna lift it a little bit. And what I like about this is like there's no glue drying, you just kind of lift it up into place as many times as you need to. And they are a bit heavy. I don't know if that's like normal. I think I didn't quite get this one exactly where I want it. It's kind of poking a little bit, but like can kind of move it a little bit outwards like that. And just kind of manipulate it to where I want it, like that. What do we think? Did I do good? And just like press the set of lashes together with the real ones. I think for me, if I were to use these like in the future in like real life, I'd probably just cut them and like just use the ends, because this is a very heavy lash for me. I feel like I'm wearing that like bold glamour filter, you know, one on TikTok. And I think I would get kind of annoyed with this really fast, but I've never really worn a lash before, so I don't know. But okay, so let's run through the tutorial. I have downloaded it to my other phone, so let's go ahead and watch it. I'm gonna watch it here on my phone, and I'll put it up here on the screen so that you guys can watch it with me.
Makeup. I'm gonna see if I could try to recreate it for the brown girlies, because this is a full coverage look, and because I have some hyperpigmentation, a much lighter shade of concealer on this part of my face, a little bit of my Morphe color corrector in.
All right, so she does some underpainting with her concealer, so we're gonna go ahead and do that. I don't really need to do the color correcting, so we are skipping that step. So she takes her concealer, just kind of in her normal spots. All right, and this time we are gonna go in with a brush, kind of like this one, and spread that sort of thinly around, brighten and conceal. And the reason we're underpainting these areas is because we're actually gonna go in with a different shade, kind of conceal. I'm actually gonna go in with just a little bit more. My phone seems to think, did I grab the wrong one? I did. That's what's going on. All right, I grabbed my older one and it's a little bit dry. Also, my phone likes to decide as I'm filming to give me warnings about it getting hot or low on storage or all those fun things right in the middle. So I'm like, okay, cool. Let's pause and deal with your little tantrum as I'm doing this. All right, and now that we look absolutely clownish, now we're gonna go in and thin it out. And this time, I'm gonna go in with a fully moistened beauty blender and just thin this out like that. This looks absolutely ridiculous in the TikTok camera. I don't know why everything just looks so much brighter and has so much more contrast on that camera right now. I don't know if it's because it's behind the light or what, but it just looks absolutely crazy. If you're watching this in sequence, you know it was doing that with our previous video as well when we got to the blush stage, but this really isn't as crazy as it looks. But really we're just doing this underpainting with our concealer to knock out some of the redness and some of the discoloration and spots. And this is one of my older, more dried out concealers. I grabbed the wrong one, which is why it's going on so crazy patchy like this, but we're underpainting, so it doesn't really matter so much. And you'll see why in a minute. All right, I'll let Monica explain our next step.
With my concealer, I think the reason the French baddies love this look is because it's giving like natural. It's snatched, but it's not like cakey. I feel like the Maybelline Lumi Matte Foundation.
Nope, not so fast. All right, so next she goes in with her contour, and again, she's still underpainting. So she said snatch, so we are going to snatch. So normally I go in with my normal contour, so you can see it there, but we're gonna snatch. So I'm gonna go above that and at a sharper angle to really snatch and lift my face. I'm gonna do the same here. And I'm gonna take a angled brush and keep that lift as I blend. And I am blending just kind of up, gently blurring. And this is so different from what I normally do. So I know this kind of looks crazy right now, but you will see why right now. You kind of heard her say it. Now we're gonna go in with a foundation. So today I'm going to probably to the rest of this foundation. So I'm going in with my Maybelline New York Dream Urban Cover. This is a foundation in the shade 120 Classic Ivory. I'm just gonna go ahead and do a very thin layer over top of what we've done and just blend that out. See how that's bringing my natural tone back? You're really not going to see too much of what's going on underneath. It's just going to be more of a suggestion more than a, you know, it's not going to scream at you. It's just going to be like, hey, I'm here. Not a, hey, you, look at me, right? Sorry if anybody was using headphones. Probably not a good idea here. We're just gonna gently blend all that back in. Don't forget your ears and to gently blend all of those chins in and down the neck. I'm so used to blending in around here, but I'm a little nervous about getting those eyelashes in. And she uses a brush. I've never been super big on brushes for foundation, but I may need to go in so that I get closer on the eyes. Yeah, just kind of get everything blended in around that. All right, I think we're looking fairly blended in. Just make sure blended in down the neck, and let's see what she says next.
Would be perfect for this look. Pink blush, I feel like is the biggest difference, but to match my olive skin, I'm going in with this pretty muted pink shade of blush. It would be a great time to use.
All right, pink blush, we can do that. She is olive skinned. We are nice and pale in this household. So I'm gonna go in with the Profusion Cosmetics Lost at Sea Violet Wave Cream Blush. This is a purple blush, but I promise it's not purple on me. I'm gonna go in gently here, and we are snatching, so I'm gonna go a lot higher than I normally would, going right up underneath the eye with a gentle hand, and pulling all the way up into that temple. This is going to be a very soft, pulling very high up onto the face. You see how even though it's very purple in the pan, it's just giving a very soft, light, well, not a light pink in the sense of a baby pink or a pastel pink, but just a light flush of color. And because I'm using a very fluffy brush instead of what I would normally do where I dot this cream onto my skin with my fingertips, it's giving a very soft finish, and that's what we're looking for in this look. Just a kiss of color like that. All right, Monica, tell us what's next.
My Huda Beauty Ube powder, especially if you have brown skin, because we're gonna do a pink blush, a purple or pink setting powder. Oh yeah, I think would eat. To get your makeup to really pop.
Alrighty. I do not have the Huda powder, but I do have a pink setting powder, so we can go in with this. This is the Catrice Under Eye Brightener Setting Powder, and it is a baby pink. I have a cute little white puff. I just poured some out into the lid. I'm going to dab it off on the back of my hand like this. We're going to go right in under the eyes, and we're going to set this. Now, the Huda powder that she's talking about, Ube is a purple sweet potato. I believe they have it, they grow it in Hawaii, and so hers is a very pale violet shade, and she has a darker skin tone than me, and so she's using that violet shade. I am much paler, so I am going in with this baby pink. Depending on what your skin tone is, you can adjust what you use, but this works just fine for me for this look. And so you see, we're using this almost in lieu of concealer, which is why we used that underpainting technique to cover up any blemishes before we did the foundation. So it looks, I'm not gonna say flawless because nobody is flawless. You do still see some of my age spots coming through, but this is going to make it smoother. It's going to give the appearance of closer to flawless, right? And she doesn't powder as much, but she's younger, probably in an air-conditioned studio, but I am not, so I'm actually going to go ahead and set my T-zone entirely with this because I need it. Again, I am going into the lid of this and then knocking back some of the powder, so I'm not just, throwing an entire bunch of loose powder onto my face. I'm knocking it off first. So let me show you what it would look like. Okay. So this is what I don't want to do. I don't want, see how chunky that is? I don't want that going straight on my face, especially if I've got like a little bit of sweat. Okay. Doing this for y'all. So I'm a little sweaty right underneath here. The sensors might think that's something else. It is pink. All right. So let me show you how I would fix that. So I'm going to get an even fluffier brush. I'm just going to knock that away. That's why we go into the back of the hand and just kind of press it off. It gives it a thinner base. So now we can go in, and that's just going to help us knock back that shine like that. And when it goes in over all of that foundation and everything else that's on that skin, it no longer has that pink as much. It just kind of blends it all together and knocks back any like shine to the skin that's going to come off as oily and not glowy. All right. And yes, it can get all over the place, but anything for the trend, right? All right, Monica, tell us what's next.
Always set your creams with their corresponding powder. Brown.
Always, you can if you want to. If your environment is something where you might sweat, if you're going to have, a 12-hour day, you can definitely set it. It's up to you. I'm gonna go ahead and do it. I don't believe you always have to set your creams with powders. It will make it last longer. It will make it brighter. I don't think you have to. Do what works for you. But today we will go ahead and do that. So I had sort of a purplish cream, so we will go ahead and do a cooler. So we're gonna go in with this one here from my e.l.f. quad. Just gently kiss that like so. My goodness, sorry if you hear me sniffing. Having a little of that extra powder right there is messing with me. All right, so moving on. What's next, girl?
Eyeshadow. What to do was
brown eyeshadow. She did not go into a lot of detail on that one. I had to look into it. So really what it looks like is kind of just a little extra depth into the crease and sort of a very neutral look. So let's go ahead and build sort of a neutral eye look behind these lashes. So as usual, I'm going to go into my tried and true palette. This is our Moonlight Magic palette from Profusion. I swear one day they're gonna sponsor me. This is the goal. Manifest it, put it out there, tag them, and we're gonna make it happen, okay? So let's just do this. We're gonna go in with Cryptic. It is this cocoa shade right here. This is gonna be all mattes, so we're just gonna take this right all over the eyelid. I'm gonna do a little something new. I bought 3 products for this video. I wanna say the total on Amazon was like $16, and I had earned myself a $10 gift card, so I did very good. But if you remember, this was one pass with the NYX Brow Glue, just going up super fast. Second time, gripping onto what we did the first time, going up, running gently across the top, creating a shape, and then gently across the bottom to clean up that shape that we've made, like that. Dipping in one more time, doing the other side. These lashes are wild. I don't think I would get a lash this dramatic again, but I do think they're pretty. The longer I wear them, I am getting used to them. Obviously, I would need more practice in applying them because I didn't do the most amazing job in the world, but the self-adhesive was very, I like it. I do think it was easy to use. Obviously, I need, more practice. This is the first time I've ever applied them, but think if somebody who, did have more skill than I do were to work with them, I think they could do really well. I still don't know. Obviously, this is only my second filmed for Amazon video, so obviously I have not learned all there is to know yet. I am smart, I'm not that smart. So I haven't picked up everything yet, but I will try to figure out how to put a link in the description of this video to their storefront so that you guys can check them out as well. If you're a beginner, I do think these are pretty beginner friendly. This was the only style of lash that they had in the self-adhesive, but they did have more styles, like the kind that you have the little glue with. They did have, I think, the magnetic kind, and I do think there was also one with a glue strip. I'm not 100% sure how that works, but okay. So I did buy this. This is from Wet n Wild. It is the Ultimate Brow Micro Brow Pencil, and it's got a little spoolie on one side, and then a little super tiny micro. Can you see it? Yeah, okay. So this really fine pencil on the other side. And so I thought we could try it because I was telling you guys in the last video how the pencils would break on me and they were just not good. So I thought maybe we could try this, the little areas that I was having trouble with. I don't know. I don't think that was good. Let me show you guys on my hand. I was kind of playing with it yesterday. So you can kind of make very small, let me show you. Okay. So you are able to make these very fine little lines, but how you do it when there's already other hairs in the way? I don't know. See how there's this little open patch there? I make the little... I am not doing good with that at all. Does a little spoolie help to make them look better? It does not. All right, I'm giving up on that. Hey, not everything is made for everyone, right? In the hands of somebody who's good at that, I'm sure that works amazingly. It is not the product, it is the person behind the product, okay? The person holding it is at fault on that one. Okay, so let's move on and you will hear her say this.
Brown eyeshadow. What I had to do was carve out my brow bone, smallest eyeliner wing, and then we're gonna use
carve out the eyebrows. So what that means generally is to use some concealer. And of course I had the wrong one out earlier, so I still have the wrong one out. Yep, it's one of those days. I mean, honestly, I could maybe one day end up being one of those people that has more than 2 concealers. That would be cool, but I'm currently not. So it is what it is. This doe foot for me holds way too much product, and I don't have perfectly manicured brows, so I don't trust it to carve it out. So I am taking it on a flat brush like this, and I'm gonna get right up close to it, and we're just going to kind of do like a stencil and just blend it in till it's just barely visible that you did something different, like that. So your eye's catching it, but you're not sure why your eye is catching it. It just kind of makes it pop just a little bit more, and it gives it a cleaner appearance. Honestly, I should probably be doing this every day because it does actually make it look nice, but honestly, it's a little extra work for something that I don't really love about myself. I really wish that my eyebrows were nicer, but there are things about ourselves that we can change, and then there are things about ourselves that we could change with more money or more time or more effort, right? There's something that I ran across, and I think It's called the 5-minute theory, right? Don't point something out about somebody that they can't change in 5 minutes, right? So if you notice something about somebody, let's say their shoe is untied, right? That's something they can change about themselves in 5 minutes, right? They can tie their shoe. If you point out that there's a stain on their shirt, right? If they've just walked out of the house, they can go back in, change their shirt, right? They can do that in 5 minutes. If you're out at the club already and you say, gosh, you know, your hair looks really bad tonight, they can't change that in 5 minutes. If you're on social media and you want to leave a comment about somebody's weight, they can't change that in 5 minutes. If you want to leave a comment and say, hey, your smile's beautiful, you know what? They may not be able to change their smile, but that certainly changed their mood, didn't it? Right? We need to consider how our actions can change things, right? It's either something physical they can change or something emotional that you can help them change, right? So think about that. Can they change it in 5 minutes, or can you help them change it in 5 minutes or less? I don't know. I just thought that was neat. So, I might have moved it back a little bit too far, but
shadow. What I'm going to do was carve out my brow bone, smallest eyeliner wing, and then we're going to use...
She said smallest eyeliner wing, but she's done an absolutely gorgeous eyeliner. You'll see it. But I don't think I can do a full eyeliner over this, but I can do a little bit of a wing. So she says use brown instead of black. So I did actually. Ta-da! I pulled out a brown liner. This is the Color Spell Long Lasting Kohl Eyeliner in the color Charcoal, which is a dark brown, almost black shade. And let's see what I can do around these lashes. So I'm just going to start at the base of my lower lashes and kind of follow that shape as if that line were going to continue. I'm just going to pull it up like that. Sometimes I forget where the mirror is. And then I'm going to follow it back to connect to my eye like that. And then I'm going to fill it in. And I'm going to bring it as far back over as these lashes will let me do, as far as a line along the lash line. And then just fill everything in. And I do love this tip. Even if you want to do something kind of dramatic, but you are leaning on the more natural side, doing a brown instead of a black is absolutely a great tip. And one of the reasons why I follow Monica, besides the fact that she's very talented and gorgeous and just has a fantastic personality, and I think everybody should have a role model like that in their lives, she's also very highly educated and takes the time in turn to educate others. She, I believe, holds a master's, you can fact check me on that, in computer science. And one of the ways she uses her education in the beauty world is by educating others on color theory. And she mentions multiple times in this video even about her olive skin. And obviously she's not green, right? So what does that mean? It means that her undertone, the way that colors look on her, pulls in a slightly greenish, muted way, right? So a red on her pulls slightly more of a maroon, right? A slightly muted brown versus a bright red. And she does it so much better than I'm explaining it now. And one of the series that I really love that she does on her channel is when she brings her very fair-skinned friend on. And what they do is they will literally grab a tube of lipstick like this. And it got a little broken there, but that's okay. And they'll pass it between each other, and they won't cut the camera. They will literally hold it, and Monica will be here, and her friend, whose name I can't remember at this exact moment, will pass it between each other, and she'll put it on and her friend will put it on, and they will look as if they just magically used two different lipsticks. And it shows that when your skin tone is different, the way things look on you, even if they're the exact same thing, will look different. And that's why it's so important for makeup companies to have a range of colors, and not just in foundations, right? We're not just matching shade of your skin, but we're also putting out, or they need to also put out products that have different shades of blush, contour, eyeshadow, because you can't just put out a pink blush and expect it to look good all skin tones, because it's not just white, tan, brown, black, right? It's white with cool, neutral, warm undertones. It's pink, olive, and brown, right? There's so many different undertones and shades. And so you can't just put out a pink, a red, a purple blush. You've got to have a cool blush and a warm blush and a muted blush and a bright blush. Well, That is if you want customers and you want repeat customers. Anyway, getting back to it, that's why I love her so much. She's very good at educating her fan base, and that's something that I want to do. I want to be known as somebody that takes the time to educate, and that's why my videos are an hour long after editing, because I want to stop in the middle of what I'm doing, like in the middle of pulling a winged liner, because I want to be that person that somebody can come to for education. Why are we doing the things we're doing? How can somebody with a disability do the things that we're doing? How do you apply something with shaky hands? How can you do something if you can't grip, right? Anyway, I went over all of this in my video before this one. Anywho, did I finish coloring this in? I don't know. We'll go look slightly. I could use some more precision like that. All right, we'll do this one super quick, and we'll see if I can do it without covering the camera. Following that lower lash line, pulling it out just a little bit, and then pulling it back towards the, oop, that eyelash is a little bit in the way, a little more, but okay. Okay, and the next thing she does is her waterline. If you are weird about touching eyeballs, you may want to skip ahead. And if you worry about your makeup smudging, you can hold a tissue into your palm. And normally, of course, you would want to do this with a mirror, but, you know, filming.
Girly, but how pretty are these lashes? The lip is a very much up my alley. I feel like it's like a muted pink brown lip. And finally, I got another
muted pink brown lip. Okay, so we're going finally to the last product that I bought for this video. I did not own a brown lip liner. Brown lip liners are not something that I would normally do. I associate them with Latina culture and with Black and African American culture. I am a very fair-skinned Asian American girl, so that's not something that was part of my bag. However, if this is the trend and we're accepting it, I'm all for it. I know that it's been a fashion for a while now, so let's go for it. I don't know how it'll look on me. I did not pre-test this. Honestly, this is darker than it looked on all of the references and all of the photos, so I don't know how this will look. So this is the e.l.f. Cream Glide Lip Liner in the shade Dark Cocoa. It honestly looked very much lighter than this. I'm a little concerned. I do have some chapstick on my lips, so let's go ahead and remove that. Make sure it's nice and dry, and we will line these. Let's see the texture. I don't think I actually have any of the e.l.f. lip liners, so this is gonna be new to me. Okay, that's really creamy. It doesn't look super dark on camera. Gosh, on camera it looks very dark. In my mirror in these lights, it doesn't look that dark, so we'll see. And I guess it'll kind of blend in once I get the lipstick on, so keep talking so you guys can see it. I still use the AI cut in InShot. I do not have the skills to edit normally, so I apologize for this a little bit. Now, the one thing that she did not do was set very much here, so I am having a little bit of a transfer issue. We only set with the pink setting powder, and I usually set quite a bit more because of the conditions in the studio, so sorry about that. In fact, let's go ahead and do this. Okay, sorry. We're just gonna go with it. Sorry, I'm being very finicky about it because I'm just not used to a lip liner this dark, and any imperfection I think is gonna show very strongly, and so I'm like, oh, I don't know, do I wanna do it a little thicker, a little darker? All right, I think that's as good as it's going to get. I actually have this genetic thing where my face is not symmetrical, and I know that's kind of like, nobody's really fully symmetrical, but I actually am like very much not symmetrical. It's like something my doctors have commented on, because you can clearly see that I developed very much differently. It's noticeable in my teeth, it's noticeable in my bone structure. It's like a thing. So I try to overcompensate with it, but you can really tell in the way that my lips are. So I try to like cheat a little, maybe a little bit more work. This is supposed to be a variation on the baddie look, and for that I did a brownish nude lip liner and a lighter nude lip, and then a kind of sparkly pink gloss. So for that we used this side, and today we're going to use this side. So this is the nighttime side of the e.l.f. dual-sided day and night. We're going to go in with this. You know what? Instead of me explaining it, let's let Monica explain.
And finally, I got another lab sample with Ma Beauty for the nude lipstick that I want to wear for my American wedding. I feel like this is going to be like the perfect shade. The one thing I forgot is...
All right, so we're going in with a nude shade, a little bit darker than the baddie's original video. So okay, I think I'm going to take a lip brush and feather in the line a little bit more. And then I'm gonna take and really powder around the edges. Give it a really crisp line. And she didn't do this, but you know, my video, my adaptation, right? My interpretation. I'm gonna go in with the She Glam Layer Cake Lip Oil. This is the chocolate cake, just because I tend to go really dry really quickly. And I think this could use a little something, a little shine, just to kind of incorporate it a little bit more. I also feel like this is a little dark on me, although in that camera for TikTok, I look very ghostly anyway. So let's go in and just give a little gloss. Yeah, that's more wearable for me, right? All right, bring us home, Monica.
Cute little pop of highlighter, I think.
Cute little pop of highlighter. We can do that. And she uses a tiny little brush like this. Let's go into our highlighter. And I'm gonna go into our little rose shade. And she did a little bit here, a little bit up here at our brow bone.
The one thing I forgot is a cute little pop of highlighter. I think we all...
A little bit here. And for a little bit of fun, I'm just gonna... And then I cannot finish a look without some sort of setting spray. It's too warm here. And honestly, is because I am filming where I am and because I do not have central AC, I have to wait until the end of the day, and I'm not going anywhere. This is literally just filming. I have to wait till the sun is already on the other side to film out here in the studio. If I were trying to film this at between 11 and 4, it would just be way too hot. I wouldn't be able to handle it. My equipment would not be able to handle it. It would all get too warm. So I am gonna finish off with some setting spray. And of course she has gorgeous hair and a gorgeous outfit and a gorgeous backdrop to everything. You know, this is how we do it here. So let's finish this off and then we will be done. Yeah, I'll take some pictures, maybe add it in, maybe we'll let the hair down, do something. But thank you for joining me. Oh, that feels so nice. But as always, stay safe, be kind to yourself. I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. Like that. Same to the other side. Going in with a little bit of a denser brush into the crease. We're going to go into Omen. It's a little bit darker on the outer V as well. Just kind of bring that out just a little bit. Outer V into the crease like that. Other eye, right? I am flipping over my Eco Tools brush to blend it all in. Pulling it just over the crease a little bit. We're not adding color, we're just blending out what we have. Doing this around the lash is kind of fun. Other side, like that. I think I am going to grab something kind of fluffy, but not crazy. Something like this. I'm gonna go in with Sorrow. It's a warm brown. I'm just gonna pop it right into the center just for a little added contrast. It's still a matte, but it's going to give it a little bit of dimension, just like that. Gonna add just a little touch of mascara. I think you do that when you add fake eyelashes. I think just like to tie them together. Doesn't it like glue them together a little bit, right? Like it combines them, yeah. So I'm using my Essence, right? Don't get me in trouble. Aha, see? My memory's not entirely shot. Essence Bye Bye Panda Eyes. This is a tubing mascara. And I'm just kind of adding a little something to kind of like tie them together so they look more incorporated like that. Okay, and she didn't show her brow routine on this one, so I'm just gonna do my really quick basics. But I did get something for this look because she does later on, spoiler alert, highlight her brow bone. And if we're gonna be highlighting my brows, I better make sure that they're worth looking at, right?